Hello, fellow trading and investing fanatics. Today is September 19th, Sunday, around 8 o'clock here Central European time. So it has been a pretty rough week for me personally. I think partly because I couldn't keep the gains from most of the Bitcoin run, especially my mining stocks. But I'm still learning how to keep keep the gains, at least keep half of the gains on the run up, right? But unfortunately, I wasn't able to do it. I'm still trying to figure out maybe I should be less hasty on quickly releasing my hedges and keep conviction on them, because I realized maybe I should make less trades. But anyways, I'm going to go over most of the broad market overview, and then we can go over the individual stocks real quick. So on Sunday, so Bitcoin's now trading around 47,433, and it's basically just chopping sideways, right? So because the indices are actually selling off, because only the Nasdaq is now above the 50-day moving average, while the other ones, the Russell is above as well, but the SPY and Diamond are way below. And I think that they're rotating the money into the small caps or growth stocks or SPACs. If you look at SPACs, SPACs did really well, right? SPACs actually broke out, right? And then now they're looking to challenge the high here again. So if we actually do break out and close above the highs here, then which means that all the small, the SPACs, the growth stocks are all going to break out, I think, in my opinion, based on what I see. And I'm going to start looking into buying calls for some of my growth stocks and my recent SPACs that were de-SPACed, right? So this is a very good sign, which means when the market does correct, there's money pumping elsewhere. It's not like every single stock is selling off. So that's a very good sign that we have a strong market ahead. Now, with that said, I do believe that Bitcoin is also going to run based on looking at some of the other analysis from other people and what they're saying, and I also looked into some bearish cases, which they also have a point. So I try to keep myself on my toes and try not to be too excited if Bitcoin does run again. So let's look into Mara real quick. Before I talk about Mara, I'm going to talk about HUT8 because this is my new position. So I sold a put. It expired already. So I now officially own HUT at 101 shares. I bought one share just to track it. I have 100 shares of HUT. And I sold the put last week, and it expired in the money. I'm now down under for about $80, or roughly about 6 to 7%, because the put gave me a $44 credit. So I'm okay with holding this underwater. So HUT8 actually, it's funny, the day I bought it, they announced they were gonna really dilute their shares by doing some offerings. So that's why it tanked. And now we're back to the 20-day moving average, which is fine with me. So next week, I will probably look to hedge depending on what Bitcoin does. I do think I don't need to hedge until I see Bitcoin close below about 45,000. That's when I know we're probably going to head down for another leg lower and maybe retest the 40,000 area before we actually see the next run, right? That's kind of my vision, but I could be totally wrong. So I bought that, and now my account is pretty much heavily into the Bitcoin mining stock, so my account will swing violently depending on how well the Bitcoin stocks do. So let's talk about Mara real quick. So during the run up of Bitcoin, Mara also ran up, and I wasn't able to keep most of the profits, even though I sold a put. I also sold a covered call, but at the end of the day, my account didn't quite go anywhere really. I mean, it did go up to about 13,800, but I wasn't able to keep a lot of the gains. So I will try to figure out what went wrong, and maybe I should be a bit more cautious when it comes to holding on to the gains, because I was hedging, not hedging, and then this candle right really messed me up, because by the time I was able to hedge, the price was already at $40. So I didn't get to keep most of my gains. So that's something I'm trying to work on. And as for the growth stocks, they are all looking really good. They seem to be really trying to break out of their downtrends, and I can kind of see it on certain, not UWMC, but say Nano Dimensions is showing some sideways action now, so it's good. Some of the China stocks are also rebounding a little bit, not too much, but I can see, for example, the SPAC index did really well. If you look at this one, right? SPACs did really well, small caps did okay, and then the rest are correcting. So, which means money rotates into these hyper speculative stocks, which is really good, right? So I'm considering buying some calls next week if we do see strength in these two ETFs. So that's kind of my play. If not, I'll start hedging my positions if the entire market corrects. So in any ways, this is just a short update. I hope you guys had a great weekend, and then we'll chat again. Not chat, but I'll see you guys next week. Thanks and bye-bye.